Hello, I'm Frank, and this is
Lisa.
We want to welcome you to the Be Encouraged Show, where each week we reach an audience of 45,000 potential listeners
And growing.
across our social platforms and guest networks. Our mission is simple yet profound: to spread hope and encouragement, connecting our audience with stories that uplift and inspire.
So, whether you're a business owner looking to expand your reach or someone eager to share your journey of impact, our platform is designed to highlight the positive differences we can all make.
Getting involved with our show is easy and rewarding. First, you get to be a guest on this show. This is a fantastic opportunity for brand recognition as you share your story with our engaged listeners.
And Frank and I are now offering Q&A Mastermind monthly sessions. And these are not just informative experiences, but we actually help with your business on strategic insights and provide a supportive group setting.
Oh, yes, we do, don't we? And if you're looking to drive targeted lead generation, consider sponsoring our show. We offer multiple tiers and customizable options to fit your marketing needs perfectly.
We have had over 350 guests, and they have been able to brand themselves and share all the goodness that they are doing here in community.
And it's not just about numbers. Our approach opens up a space for vulnerability, helping our guests genuinely connect with audiences. This authentic interaction is a powerful catalyst for community and business growth. Take, for example, we have partners here at Be Encouraged, and since getting involved with our platform, they've seen a staggering 900% growth in just 7 months here in the Springs.
So if you're ready to make a significant impact, join us today at beencouraged.net.
And let's make the world a more hopeful and connected place, one story at a time.
We are currently at Cole Harbor, our studio sponsor, right?
So beautiful.
Oh, what a wonderful
Love it.
place. We get such great feedback about them and what they're doing. What's so great about Cole Harbor?
Yes. So the owner, Jeremiah Callahan's just phenomenal. His attention to detail from the sound, from the aesthetics, he even got me a little microphone holder for our live Instagrams, Frank. I mean, just the attention to detail to service the business owners here who work out of here is phenomenal.
And what you always feel welcomed here. You always feel a part of this community. It's the most welcoming place that I've ever engaged. And we have some amazing people that work out of here as well.
We do. And they actually have a greeting host, which is incredible during their peak hours.
What an idea, right?
Yes, but some of the people working out of here, you just want to be here just to say hi to them, like Chantel Bridges.
Ooh, and Melinda Joy Mingo.
Yes.
And our friend Tom
Carlson.
Yes, indeed. Wonderful people. And Lisa and I also engaged their facility in Denver called Co-working, which is a fantastic facility.
Gorgeous, yes. And we have to do a huge shout out for Alan Briggs.
Yes.
He is our right-hand man, especially in this podcast studio. He has given us great wisdom and insight on how to use all the bougie stuff that they have in here.
The bougie stuff. Yeah.
It is. It's high end.
It is. It's wonderful. We're so blessed to be able to be here at Cole Harbor. And you need to come in and do a 14-day free trial of this facility. Lisa, tell them a little bit about some of the great things that Cole Harbor offers.
Yes. Well, their membership starts at $25 on up, and that gets them 24/7 access to a beautiful, gorgeous space. And not only that, Frank, you know what they have?
What?
Amazing pour-over coffee, which all of my friends love, and I love the tea. They have hot tea, and they have iced coffee, and they have sparkling water, all the things. It's so beautiful here, so come and check them out.
Well, come on down and join us at Corporate and Tech Center Drive. Beautiful location over here. You can't miss us. We're sponsored by the great Joshua Geary with Crescio. And Joshua just won Hispanic Rising Professional of the Year. Yay! He's been with us so long, and he is really produces and helps us with this show.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Crescio.
Yes, so Crescio, they offer pay what you can consultations, and they specialize in not only just Chat GPT, but they will work with your business to help you get sustainable and then leave and leave you successful. Their goal is not to stay with you forever. Their goal is to keep you moving with excellence.
Indeed. And AI is the rage right now. Joshua is an expert in AI, and he and his team can help you navigate the sometimes scary road of AI and what's happening, and deliver work with you that you won't have to worry about all the myths about AI. They know how it works for you. And what I do love, Lisa, about Crescio is the pay what you can consultations to the underserved southeast sector of our city, reaching out and trying to help people.
Absolutely. So check them out at Crescio.com.
Indeed. We're sponsored by Brandon Kirk from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, and his 3 children are just incredible. I know them personally.
Me too.
We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gava?
And she's a beautiful artist, and yes, they have an amazing farm as well.
They do. And he loves Star Wars. So if you're into that scene, give Brandon a call. He loves Star Wars, all things Star Wars-y.
Yes, not only that, but he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town. They do have the strongest vacuums in Colorado,
Indeed.
which will help you get amazing air quality for your home.
Indeed. They find all kinds of stuff in our vent systems. They've done my house as well, and so many of my friends.
Yeah.
They really are the cream of the crop when it comes to duct cleaning.
They are.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So make sure to look them up because they are
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Yes, they are.
We are sponsored by the lovely, incredible Karen Butcher with Westco Insurance.
Yes, Karen is an amazing insurance agent doing home, casualty, all these different types of insurance. And here's the deal. She has some of the same customers that she had when she started 24 years ago. They're still engaging her this many years later, which means she has to have some incredible customer service and some attentive skills. Right?
To include me.
And me.
She's helped me a lot over the years.
She's incredible.
So we really appreciate Karen Butcher and all the wisdom and savviness that she has in the insurance industry. So check her out, Karen Butcher, Westco Insurance.
Please. Yeah, welcome to the Be Encouraged Show with Frank.
And Lisa.
We're so glad that you join us on Mondays and align with us in our goal of infusing hope and encouragement throughout the world.
That's right. We are now offering 2 free guests on our show every single Monday from 11 to 12 or 12 to 1 Mountain Standard Time. But we also have an amazing new venture that we've started this year, Frank.
Indeed. We have the free hug campaign that's starting that Lisa and I are going to go out in community, offer free hugs. Hugs have medicinal value that's really, really strong, and we want to use that to help humans.
Absolutely. And we are also going around the world on live Instagrams. So our ask of you is, if you know of any amazing business owners out in other countries or across the nation, please introduce them to us at lisa@beencouraged.net.
Yeah, make sure that you email her. Yes, and she'll get it done for us, and we'll make sure that we highlight your business. You know, really the value of this is exposure. We get the opportunity to expose your business to our growing audience and get so that you can be seen and people can engage your business.
And we do offer sponsorship levels starting at $50 on up. So depending on how much marketing you have in your budget, we would love to help you get maximum exposure both on our website as well as our show.
Indeed. We love humans here at the Be Encouraged show. And the reason we exist is to create value for you.
The real value of sponsoring our show is joining us on our mission to infuse hope and encouragement throughout the world.
Aligning missional values is very important to us, and we are looking for businesses that align with us and our values and what we're trying to give out to the world.
Yes, this is about social impact, Frank.
Indeed. We know how important that is in this community and around the world. So join us in our mission to create social impact for your business. Well, welcome everyone to the Be Encouraged show with Frank and
Lisa.
We're so glad to have you on Motivation Monday. Thanks for being a part of our show. How are you?
I am fabulous.
Are you fabulous?
This is our third show of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all warmed up for you guys.
That's right. We're going to rock this.
Yeah, we are.
Why not, right?
Look who's in the house. Right. I mean, come on.
Anyway, guys, welcome to the Be Encouraged show. I'm Frank Sinclair, along with my sidekick, Lisa Sennett. We provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and create a positive impact here in the Colorado Springs community and beyond. And we're joining you live today from Colorado Springs with some wonderful guests. If you want to join us internationally, please go to and select from our website, International, via Instagram to join us from anywhere in the world.
So today's show is sponsored by Crescio. Joshua Aguirre is honoring us with his presence today.
I know, right?
So he's the owner of Crescio, and they offer to help entrepreneurs with pay-what-you-can consultations to understand AI agents and use them to increase your sales and lower your overhead. So visit them at Crescio.com to learn more and check out the flyer that we provided you later.
Indeed. We also want to mention, Lisa, because I think that it's right that we do. Carrie Ann is in the house with us as well.
KO Photography.
KO Photography. Carrie Ann, thank you for the work that you do for this show. Yes. If you want beautiful pictures taken, weddings, she says she even do weddings, right? Whoa.
Yeah, that's brave of you to even do weddings. I know a lot of photographers who refuse to do weddings. Bridezillas. Groomzillas, all the things.
All the Zillas?
Yes, all the
Zillas in the house, right? So, yeah, reach out to her at KO Photography. And who we got today?
Yes. So for the second time in 2024, we had him here last year, and this is his next time coming, and he brought an amazing guest with him. Judge Victor Reyes. Is it Reyes?
Reyes.
Reyes, okay. So the Honorable Victor Reyes. What's the I for?
Well, what do you want it to stand for, Lisa?
I can guess.
I can be pretty indignant.
Well, that's why I didn't ask you.
Yeah.
She's nice.
Yeah. I'm the nice one.
Actually, it's Ioannis, so it's Greek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's.
I can see the Greek in you.
There we go. Thank you.
It's in the eyes. So he is now retired. He served as a district judge from January 99 through December 31st of 2014 in the 10th Judicial District located in Pueblo, Colorado. He has presided over criminal, civil, county, court appeals, probate, domestic, protection order, juvenile, and dependency and neglect matters. Before becoming a judge, he served as a deputy state public defender for the state of Colorado.
Wow.
Judge Reyes also served as the Judicial Representative on the Colorado Domestic Violence Offender Management Board. And he currently participates in nationwide trainings and roundtables on issues related to domestic violence. He's also a member of the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges. He is a graduate of Emory University and Georgetown University Law Center.
Oh my, that was impressive, brother.
Oh, do you still have time for the show?
I know. I'm exhausted. Are you?
I am.
My goodness.
But that's not even the fun part of life. That's like, that was 10 years ago.
Do you do anything fun?
Well, yeah, and it's not listed on that piece of paper. I'll tell you that much.
We'll have to unpack that.
Yeah, that's.
So also to his right, the beautiful Candace Oakley, Reiki specialist and coach.
Yes.
So are you a Reiki coach?
No, I'm a Reiki practitioner.
Okay.
And then I have certifications in some mindset coaching.
Oh,
I'm
mindset
working on,
coach.
yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad.
Thank you for
you
having
have-
me.
We're amazed. If the judge thinks you should be here, we any friend of the judge is a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
This guy.
We were wondering who here was going to
Yeah.
bring you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear that bio?
I was a little intimidated. I was like, what am I doing here?
And me too. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, we could all just leave and let the judge talk, right? So,
Yes.
You know, you're very intuitive.
yes. All righty. Well, Lisa, start us off today. What do you have for the judge?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, some of them may not have already heard last year's episode. So why don't you just share a little bit about your background, where you grew up, a little bit about who you are as a human.
Well, I grew up mostly in the Canal Zone in Panama. My dad was in the Air Force, and so I was on Albrook Air Force Base. He was an instructor at the Inter-American Air Force Academy, so we had Latin American students as his as the people he worked with. Mm-hmm. So mostly in the Canal Zone. I was born in Greece. My mom's Greek, and my dad was born in Puerto Rico, but actually grew up in Panama.
Okay.
As he came over in 1920 to work on the canal.
Who your dad did?
My dad, no, not my dad.
Oh,
my dad, my dad would be that fruit. He'd be like Mick Jagger, having kids in 80, but not so much, you know. He came over when he was 3 years old, so in 1920.
Okay.
They came over to work on the canal, and then long story short, ended up going to law school and retired 10 years ago, and kind of it's almost like adjourning court. And then kind of getting away from that life. And yet, everything I learned in that life, and including not so much the legal aspects, but more of what the work did to me, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. And sharing that with judges and now with people in many different parts of the community, on how to basically go through this process of recognizing that there's stuff going on.
Before we get to that, though, Judge, because you've jumped the canal, my friend.
Yes. How many languages do you speak?
Right.
I speak Greek, Spanish, English. I'm struggling. Actually, English is my third language.
Okay.
Is it really?
Yeah, Greek. When your mom's Greek,
why I
you're going
asked.
to grow up Greek.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I don't care what your last
Can you
name is.
cook Greek food?
I can. And
You don't look very impressed by it.
I just. Well, when you
I'm not a fan either.
Greek food is not a single portion type of meal.
Oh, okay.
So you have
It's
to
more
cook,
than just a euro.
Yeah. A euro,
Yeah.
and that too.
Euro.
You know, Yeah. So no, I do occasionally, and So
I'm fascinated though, Judge, because about how do people land where they are, right? So
Yeah.
you said you gave us a really good synopsis of that early life. What's the makeup of Judge Reyes? But what was the steps that someone would end up at Georgetown, a very distinguished law school in our country? Did you always know that was the path for you? How did you get there?
absolutely not. Absolutely. I think we just make decisions. I think we make decisions in the mindset of the person that we're at that moment of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I want to go to college. My dad wanted me to go to trade school because that's what he did, work with his hands. And so I want to go to college mostly because everybody around me was going to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was that peer pressure of the kids who were wealthier than me.
And where was this?
This was in North Miami Senior High School.
Okay.
In North Miami, Florida. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to go to college.
Yeah.
And then my buddy was going up to Emory, so it's like, okay, I'm going to spend 2 years. My dad wouldn't sign the paperwork for the loans because he'd gone to Vietnam, and he swore his family would never be separated.
Aww.
And so we kind of cut this deal after 2 years. I want to go. So a buddy of mine was going up to Emory University in Atlanta, and I went to Emory. Well, I was studying history and philosophy, and then political science, having the time of my life, until I realized I'm graduating. And what am I going to do
You're
with
an
these
adult.
things? Well, that term wasn't around back then. Thank God. Yeah. So it's like, no. And so it's like, well, I don't want to, get a master's degree in these. And so somebody said, hey, you can put off your loans for 3 years if you go to law school. So it's like, 3 years?
Yeah, heck yeah. Why not?
That's a godsend. And so I ended up applying to a variety of law schools. And it's interesting because when the guy came down from Emory, this is how life works. So he comes down to interview. I'm interviewing with these two guys. So we start, and then all of a sudden he comes up. He goes, "So you went through high school? When you went to Diablo Elementary?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Who was your third grade teacher?" And I'm looking at this guy, and I say, "Well, I can't remember her name now." But back then I did. I mentioned her name. He goes, I had the same third grade teacher because he had grown up. His dad was in the Army.
Oh, okay.
In the Canal Zone. So all of a sudden, me and him are just
Now
we're
you're
off
brothers.
and talking.
Yeah.
Right? And then I just remember glancing at the other two guys around me, going like, and they're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And
you just ace this interview.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking about the Canal Zone. And then all of a sudden, several weeks later, I get a letter in the mail. Back in the old days, before now, I guess you get an email, right?
Yeah.
That says back then it was a letter, and it was a thin letter. It's like and they open it up, and it's like, okay, well, how am I going to pay for this?
Yeah.
And back then, I don't think right now I could afford to go to the schools I went to. There's just no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way. And back
Insane.
then, yeah, I mean, you're talking about 70, 80, 100 times percent the old. So that's how I ended up going to Georgetown.
Wow, how cool is that?
Yes,
It is all who you know in this world.
It does happen in the time. Yeah, and sometimes I wasn't necessarily raised with that mindset,
Right.
Because my parents never had money, and my dad was a sergeant in the Air Force, and but as life has progressed, it definitely there's moments. It's the hero's journey, like Joseph Campbell talks about. There's times in your life that the right helpers will come along.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you have to distinguish those from the enablers.
Yes.
And so, those, angels, I mean, it happened, it could be in the middle of India, and it's like, God, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden, out of the fog, somebody will show up. So, there is a force that does provide at the right time, the right connection that takes your life in a certain direction.
Absolutely. I think we all can resonate with that, Judge, being the case. It's being in tune with it, right?
It's seeing it.
And seeing it, not missing it.
And acting on it.
Yeah.
Right.
After it comes, right? Because had you not shared a part of your life story and resonated about that third grade teacher, you may not have gone to Georgetown.
Right, absolutely.
You could have like chose to be quiet and shy or whatever, but you didn't. You opened up.
The look on his face.
Well, I'm just trying to imagine myself.
No, I couldn't
quiet
have
and
chosen.
shy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't know you back then.
Yeah, I've always been very blessed to be able to connect with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just maybe that's, and I think maybe it was more back then about people pleasing. So sometimes you connect because it's like, I want people like me.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
but
All of us have done that as well. Yeah, Miss Oakley.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just the shades, but the woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Candace Oakley. You need to write a book because that's a great name.
Oh,
Candace
thank you.
Oakley.
I love the name.
Right?
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
an incredible name. Right, marketable.
Yes, very
Good.
well.
Thank you so much.
Marketable name. Yeah, tell us about you.
I just don't know where to begin. I recently started the Reiki and energy work practice.
That's not where you begin.
And-
So let's take you.
Let's start when you were in diapers. We got to take you way back.
Yeah, you're not that old. So let's go back to what's the origins of Candace Oakley?
Yeah.
So my parents we lived in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Okay.
My parents divorced, led us to Texas. So I was in San Antonio and Austin for
How
the
old
most
were you
part.
when that happened?
10?
Okay.
Yeah.
10 years old.
So San Antonio, I was there for about 10 years. I'm not going to tell you all the years. I've
Military?
been everywhere.
Or no military? And
Yeah,
stuff?
military, Air
Okay.
Force, San Antonio.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated high school, I went to Austin.
Oh, yeah.
I was a young mom. So I went to hair school and did hair for about 15 years as
15.
a
Did
young
you like
mom.
it?
I did. Yeah, there were a lot of things.
I have a lot of hairdressers in my family.
You're a therapist as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really loved that.
Yeah.
So, and then also an artist, that gives me some artistry. And then we ended up moving up to Pueblo, the whole family, for a person who I was dating's job. And then I went and got
followed a dude?
Yep.
I
it's always
did.
a guy.
I did. Yes. And then my parents followed us. So we were. So then I went to CSU Pueblo and got a bachelor's in fine art
Okay.
while I was there because I've always been an artist as well.
Yeah. Like painting, drawing, singing.
It started off as ceramic sculpture. I wanted to be a ceramic sculpture artist, and when you go get a degree, they make you do everything.
Yeah.
And so then it turned into everything. And then I think I gravitated towards jewelry in the end.
Oh,
So I had been working on a lot of jewelry.
cool.
Yeah.
You have an artist vibe.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
You have an artist vibe.
she
You got a
does.
creative vibe.
Yeah.
You.
Well, that's been the common part of me for my whole life. And which is what took me to cosmetology school, is because it's like art but a job.
Yep.
Yeah. So you still with that dude?
No. We're not.
That was an emphatic no.
We're still friends.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So that's nice.
So you have one kid?
I do.
How old?
He's 25.
25.
Our kids that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
so,
one that age. I have 4, but
Yeah.
I birthed 3. Now I have a
Yeah.
bonus son.
Oh,
through
good.
marriage. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I have one son who's 25, and since then my family has moved out of Pueblo,
Okay.
and I have found a little home there. So, yeah.
Is your son local as well, or?
He lives in Las Cruces.
Okay, Las Cruces.
New Mexico.
My
Yeah.
husband's from Socorro.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, little tiny town.
Yeah.
Do you know it?
No.
By chance? Okay. Yeah, it's tiny. You could blink and you wouldn't notice that you drove through it.
Well, we're glad to have you here. We're glad
Thank
that
you.
Judge
Yeah.
chose to bring you in with him.
I know I should have had my life story a little more like, there's so many things to my past. It's hard to know where to begin and what things to say.
Yeah.
Let me give you a clue, okay? Because this really helps people when you think about your story. Because your story leads to your purpose.
Yes.
There's a reason that we go through the things that we go through in life. If you connect the dots of what you become and what you live through, it should really open up the windows of purpose to you.
Absolutely.
And this is the reason I was put on earth. This is my design. That's why I'm here, right? So if you I tailor my story around why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And I connect those dots. And it really, we live in a story brand business community
Yes.
now. People don't give a flip about how smart you are, how many degrees you have.
Or what you're selling.
They just don't care,
No.
right? They want to know your story.
Yeah.
And that's what legitimizes your space.
Yeah.
Really does.
Because then they can resonate with you as a human.
Yeah.
And when they do that, you have a true connection. And then you can talk about your offerings.
Yeah. Right, Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're killing it.
Yeah.
Because we rock like
Yeah,
that.
well, we love humans, and we lead with love in all that we do. So that really resonates with people because.
Well, I can tell you why I do what I do.
Why do you do this?
Because that's true. Everything has led me to this, which I feel is my purpose. And it's something that I've known sort of within me, this intuition of being an energy worker, being a helper, trying to help people. Has been with me my whole life, but I lived a lot of different experiences, and I got to know a lot about people through the jobs that I've done. I've done a lot of customer service jobs, working very closely with people, and also doing hair. You know, you really get to know people. You're in their energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so it's been learning about people and understanding people. That has kind of got me here, but also the common denominator has also been energy work for me, which is in everything I do. It's in my art. I'm very, very sensitive to energy, so it's how I interact with the world or retreat from it. And so I feel like I just know a lot about energy work innately and through all the experiences of my life, learning how to hone in on it for my own good. And then for a long time, I thought I was going to be an artist. And then I realized I don't want the energy taken out of the art for me by making a product to sell it. And so it just turned out that energy work was what got me.
You are.
Cool.
That's so awesome.
Did you go through a Reiki process with someone and that transformed you, or?
No, I have gone on some personal healing journeys for a long time in my life, and I have just always been into how can I heal myself, or what can I find to make myself to get better, to be the best person I can be.
Yeah.
And so I started getting into, working out and yoga and all the healthy things back in Austin, and I knew a lady that did Reiki, and I did get a treatment from her, and then I got attuned by her, and that was my first level 1 certification, was back in 2014 in Austin.
Cool.
Yeah. So you've been Reikiing since, huh?
I took a little detour.
Oh.
Yeah, I got my second Reiki certification this fall.
Just this fall?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Judge, take us on the journey you've been on. I follow you on social media, see some of the journey you kind of, this old gentleman we can post too.
Yeah. Oh man, we can post like nobody's business. We can double post too with Instagram and Facebook. So I don't have to work as much.
And you're a world traveler, so it's been a year. You got to give us an update.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Where all of that work that I did led to, and all the realizations I had, was that, it's just not the law. It's any job that has stress within it, especially when you're hearing and listening to people's stories. This idea of secondary trauma, people don't think it affects them. Police officers, they try to toughen up, and corrections officers, many of the people that I have, come into contact with still. But if not on an overt level, but on a subtle level, what we're experiencing affects us.
Oh, yeah.
And when we try to block it out, when we try to say, I'm tough, it's the biggest lie.
Right.
And it slowly eats us up. It's like when you're in the middle of churning you're in the ocean and you're being churned. Sometimes you don't realize which way's up or down because you're in the middle of it.
Under a wave you're talking about?
Yeah, under a wave, yeah. And that
I almost
feeling
died many times growing up in Hawaii that way.
Yeah, see, I mean, for South Florida, I was surfing. South Florida, when you go surfing, it's during storms. We don't have reefs.
Oh.
So, oh my God, there's a storm coming. We better get out there.
Yep.
Well, all of a sudden, the rip tides are worse. And,
Yep.
and if I hadn't had the sense to kick a board and hold it after I gulp, yeah, you're in the middle of the stuff and your brain.
And you got to go limp. That's what saved my life. My mom, the locals told us, you have to go limp when you're stuck and pinned under a wave on that surface of the ocean. And if you don't, you will die.
Yeah.
And the ocean will spit you out eventually.
It's very.
It's a trip.
And you don't know which way is up or down.
No, you don't.
And
I'm feeling secondary trauma. Right? So.
It's overwhelming. And
It is overwhelming.
So what all this was led to was me being able, financially having the means, to be able to travel to places to meet incredible teachers, and learning things that now I can put into play in many different levels of society. I mean, last week I was speaking at the Klespo tribe in Spokane about thriving as a human being. And this idea also that is promoted by Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor called whole brain living, where we take the brain, divide it up in 4 characters. We're always in those 4 characters, but which one has the microphone and is talking to us at that moment? So I get to do those 2 presentations. What a blessing for me to do that to tribal members and also social workers who work with tribal members. At the same token, I've been running programs at the prisons, at the federal prison, run yoga and mindfulness programs out at United States Penitentiary, also with the Stages program, also at Florence Correctional Institute. So all within that FCI outside of Florence. So I've got 3 classes there. And I've been, for the past 7 years, I've also been running classes at La Vista Women's Prison. So all these things that I learn, what I've discovered as my purpose, because right now it's a point in my life when I leave somewhere, this is exactly where I need it to be.
Yeah.
And it just feels good. You just know it. It's a somatic feeling of, whew, this is where I was meant to be at this moment in time. So, I run the yoga program at La Vista, and I also do, it's a domestic violence support group, but it's morphed more into how do I get my act together?
Is that online or in person?
No, it's in person. Oh, no.
Here in the Springs or
No,
Pueblo?
the La Vista is in Pueblo. It's a Colorado Department of Corrections facility, which is located in Pueblo.
Okay.
So it's not, it's people from all over the state. And who've done a variety of criminal actions that have landed them there. But to be able to sit there in conversation with people, when they're not on the drugs and they're not dealing with the stressors of whatever's happening in their lives.
Yeah.
And so that's, that to me is where I, like you said, can I connect the dots to where I am? Yeah. And from there it expands to, okay, I speak at prisons. Well, now I'm going into conferences run by correctional associations to share with what I've learned.
Because they need it. They're on the streets, experiencing all of it, right? On the daily. Are you talking about getting in front of police officers or?
Well, that's the one group that, I would love if police officers and correctional officers had these conversations.
Yes, exactly.
Because they don't. And I know people who drink too much. I know people who medicate themselves too much. Part of that whole machismo that is, I'm retired military. I'm doing police work now.
Yeah.
I've seen it all. Nothing phases me. The suicide rates are out of this world for
Insane.
Police officers and correctional officers. But it's this part of this humanity that gets negated because of this job I've got to do.
How can you penetrate that and so you can get in front of them?
Well, actually at one of the facilities we actually tried to do a program. And the warden of that facility said no, which was kind of a bummer for the officers who wanted it.
Yeah.
So it's also the willingness of the administrations of these organizations to let you in. I'm involved with this group of judges internationally. And there's this thing called the Nauru Declaration that came out of this small island. And in fact, I'm going back to New Guinea for an International Judicial Wellbeing Conference. Well, part of this Nauru Declaration is that administrations need to realize the well-being of people.
They do.
And they need to do something about it.
Yeah.
And support it. But also, you can put a wellness program in there. But if the people are too scared to access it because they don't want to look weak, they don't want to look this, don't want to look that, then you're falling on deaf ears. So I think as a society, we need to recognize that we're putting a lot of people in some dangerous situations. And I know that's the job that they are working. But we also need to always give them the space to be able to reach out and without a penalty about it.
That's right. That's the thing.
Yeah, because there's judges, I think I was in the state of Illinois, and they're concerned about about contacting mental health professionals because in their evaluations now they want a release of medical records.
Oh.
And there was one judge named Tim Fall who actually wrote a book, Running for Judge, that talks about his mental breakdown. And he is on the bench, and he takes medication for his mental health issues. Now, if you looked at a room full of judges, I'm going to, because of ages and situations, I would say 60% of them are on maybe high blood pressure medication, heart medication. Nobody thinks anything about that.
Right.
Because it gets you, you're able to stay alive. But the minute you say, well, they're taking a pill for mental health, oh, wait a second.
Right.
And that's a stigma that the society needs to definitely.
Same with the military.
I was it's interesting because I was speaking to all of the United States Army judges at Fort Belvoir last year. And one of the things they talked about, this gentleman who spoke before me, who had just retired, was talking about disability. And he was telling these judges, and they were literally from all over the country, that, hey, you guys need to start thinking about saying things to people for your disability ratings, but also to deal with your mental health issues. And and this guy was retired, so he was able to say, I know the minute you say this, that you're scared of of getting kicked out of the Army.
Right. Yeah.
And and I can understand. No, you know what? I can't understand. You're talking about human beings. We take. Frank, you went through this. You went through basic training. I've never been there. Where you take a lot of belief systems and train somebody to hurt, to kill. And there's got to be a shift in human beings. And I read all of the stories about these poor guys who come back, men and women, who come back. They're on I-25. There's a slowdown in traffic, and one guy reaches in, stops the car, reaches in, gets his gun, because when you're in Afghanistan or Iraq, you don't slow, you're moving. And his wife had to say, what are you doing? And he had to oh my God. And that's just pure human survival.
Right.
And so we need to always offer the support, and it's not, it's an issue of awareness of people being human beings.
Well, I'll say this. I just recently started a new podcast, and it's people talking about their resilient story, the worst thing that's happened in their life, and how they rose up positively from that. What I have found already, just a couple weeks in, is after each one, I have to do all the editing and everything. And by the time I'm done, I, as a human inside, am like, woo! And you can respect this, right, through Reiki, because it is a thing. It's very spiritual. As humans, we can take on other people's stuff, and we need to unpack that and unleash that. And I'm sure you sitting as a judge on the bench, you had to hear it all every day, all day. And by the time you came home, I'm sure that affected you, and you have to peel that off of you to remain sane as a human.
Right, and we do have this idea of mirror neurons, where we pick up, horses have them, they have the most. But as a human being, we have mirror neurons where we can pick up the energy.
Oh yeah.
From another person. There's those friends of ours we get together with. We're drained by the end of it.
Yes.
There's people who uplift us.
Yeah.
But absolutely, I would go home and you don't want to unload on, So what I did is I would eat, and I had gotten up to like 275 pounds.
Wow.
Because it was Oreo cookies.
Oh yeah, double stuff.
Well, I didn't
With
discover double stuff for a while. But whatever, I don't know if I could say this, but whatever petroleum products or products they put in that white stuffing, it's the sugar.
It's addicting.
But it was so bad that I would eat my children's Oreo cookies at night.
Oh.
And then realize, oh my God, they don't have anything tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. So I went down to my dealer, who was open 24/7 back then, which was Walmart.
Yeah.
And I'd get cookies, bring them home, remove those or eat those to the point that I thought it was, because that made me feel good.
Wow.
That's how I do. I don't drink. I don't do drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how I dealt with
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
I spoke at the domestic violence conference here
Yes,
in the spring.
you rocked that.
Yeah, thank you. But the energy in that room
It was heavy.
is soul sucking.
It was.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I really had to fight through some things
Yeah.
to be able to speak well at that conference and talk to people about the things, because my takeaway, Lisa and Judge, was almost, man, these people may be in worse condition than the people that they're dealing with.
Yeah,
Serving.
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I remember that because I walked in a couple minutes late and I slipped in and I was like, ooh, okay. You can feel it.
You could. Yeah. The energy was
Yeah.
in that room. It was palpable.
Yeah.
You could absolutely.
Now,
feel it.
granted, you and I are both like empaths, though, and we're
Yeah.
good readers of humans, too, so.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah.
our work. But
Yeah.
I know anyone could feel the heaviness.
Yeah.
Whether you're empathic or not.
Yeah.
You formed a very good question with Judge talking about feeling this stuff, and tell us about your work, young lady, and how does it impact you in those same regards?
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Doing the work and taking on people's energy.
Yes.
So there are some practices that you can do before and after a session, so you don't take people's energy with you. And then I always allow a good amount of time in between sessions to be able to cleanse the energy of the room and myself and shake it off so I can start fresh on the next one. But generally, when doing Reiki, you're promoting the energy flow of the other person rather than transferring your energy or receiving their energy. So it's not, and then people who would go get Reiki too, I mean, they're going into a healing space. So I think they're bringing different energy than you might feel out in the world other times. So yeah, it's not too intense. I find that I get more energy from people out in public.
Yes.
Because you have learned how to deal with that energy inside of those sessions.
It's more controlled, yeah.
It's more
Controlled.
controlled,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's my space, it's my cave, and out in the world, we experience everybody else's energy without having the control of it being your own space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we do this hug campaign in town, and we just do these pop-ups. And the first 4 times, I was knocked off my butt for 24 hours.
Were you hugging people for...
Hugging people,
How long?
humans, like
We spent an hour and a half. or
Wow.
so.
Yeah. Well, actually, we limited it to an hour. We're like, okay, no more than an hour now. But I forgot about the spiritual side of it. And someone said, Lisa, you need to be prayed up, you need to be covered, all the things. So now I did that, and then I had my family like, don't forget to pray for me. I'm doing the hug campaign today, and I tell my other friends who are prayer warriors. And sure enough, I did great.
Yeah.
That was when we did the antlers that day. I didn't get sick, but it was a trip. And it wasn't a sick. It was a spiritual,
Yeah.
I could not get out of bed.
Right.
I was done. And I wasn't sick, though.
Epsom salt baths are happening 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. To really cleanse that
off.
energy off.
Yeah.
Because I work also with a lot of people, and so I need that 2 or 3
Yeah.
times a week.
I believe
Yeah.
it. I love it.
It's a savior. Yes.
Yes.
You know, Robert Frost said I should be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence 2 roads diverged in the wood. And I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. What's been your road less traveled?
What I'm doing right now feels like it.
Does it?
It does. I mean, not only do we come from a society where certain parents or families, or I just felt an extreme pressure to just get a job, you know? And so going this route is very scary for me. And I don't know what's going to happen. But it feels that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing.
Nice.
Yeah. We never know. That's the excitement of it.
Yes.
We have no clue. We're this
It's
far
exciting,
in, we
yes.
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, we can make all our plans and big, hairy, audacious goals that we design and develop. At the end of the day, we have no idea what's going to happen here. But it's going to be good because we're operating in our design.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the deal.
That is
right?
the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the beauty. Judge, I want people to totally understand where you're coming from, my friend, because not a lot of people get it. I want you to boil this down to the lowest common denominator as you can, that people get the value of what you're bringing to the table and the work that you're doing.
Well, for me, it's been doing those things that enhance my thriving as a human being. And taking it to all different levels of my life. You know, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing it for a positive reason, or is there some more negative, nefarious, selfish reason why I'm doing things? So analyzing everything you say, everything you think, everything you do, and running it through that filter. And how do the people around me support my growth as a human being? And having, for me, part of the thing is like fear of rejection. And it's like, wow, if I don't, or if somebody says something that's not too cool, I don't like it, it doesn't feel somatically good, it doesn't resonate with my value system. But if I say something, it's going to create a disturbance. And this person may not like me as much. So kind of letting those things go and just being very, very true to yourself in everything you do to support your growth as a human being. And that to me has been like, wow, when you filter life through that, you don't have as many people that you hang around with.
So are you doing that for the world? Are you offering this? What's your offering?
Yeah, that's basically one of the things that I really love teaching now is this, it's this 4-point vision quest that Alan Wallace, one of my teachers, introduced me to a long time ago. And it's very, very simple 4 questions, what does genuine happiness look like to me? Number 1. Number 2, how can my society and everybody around me support this pursuit of genuine happiness? Mm-hmm. Number 3, what are those habits and traits that I have that are holding me back from growing as a human? And what are those habits and traits that I have that enhance my growth? Recognizing those and working on those. And number 4 is what is my purpose, what's my purpose in life? We all have a purpose, and how do I truly live that purpose? And within those, and that's basically what I love teaching that now. I mean, that's what I did a couple weeks ago. That's what got me to the Gillespie tribe. Is I did the same presentation at a tribal wellness court conference in Phoenix last year.
What's a tribal wellness court conference?
Well, well, you know, tribal courts take a different approach.
What is a tribal court?
Native American.
Right. All of the nations.
Tell them that, though.
Right. All of the nations, the sovereign nations, set up their own court systems. We don't realize that. Yeah.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and they have jurisdiction over people who come into the reservation, handling disputes in the reservation. Sometimes there's an issue as to whether or not the feds are going to take something, and then that was that was an issue several years ago. Supreme Court case, United States Supreme Court case on, what is the tribe's jurisdiction? Who do they have power over? And so within these scopes, you have a lot of different tribes with a lot of different cultural ways of dealing with people who have violated the law, or for people who are addicted. And so there's this Tribal Law and Policy Institute that helps fund a lot of these courts. Much of this funding is becoming an issue now. Like the domestic violence funding, all that's frozen. I mean, there's domestic violence victims in shelters that aren't getting their funding right now, and so those are a lot of them are funded by the OJJP Office of Justice out of the Department of Justice. So a lot of grants, and so but it's looking at taking more traditional ways of dealing with people in your community. Supporting them through their drug abuse, or supporting them through their treatment. And so a lot of these wellness courts are very, very focused on, and it's not a different way. You always say, well, it's a different way of dealing. No, this is the way the tribe deals with it. Talk circles, maybe, having the community get together and have the person confront the community because of their transgressions. Things that have worked for, thousands of years for people. So
wow. Woo, that made my eyes glaze a little bit, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
You asked.
I did ask. So slap my hand. I just want, when we come on this show, it's very important to Lisa and I, because we want people to reach out to the people that come on this show.
Yeah.
We really do. We want to say, you need to engage Judge. You need to engage Candace. Yeah. Did I get it right?
You did.
Candace, yes.
Candace Oakley.
I call my wife baby so I don't jack it up. Right? So, hi, baby.
It makes you feel, you can call me that too.
Oh my gosh.
No. So we just really, that's how we ask for the flavor of the value that you're bringing. And many times we kind of stay in these silos, so we're always talking to people that get us and understand where we're coming from, right? They're speaking our language. These folk may not be speaking your language, so why would I reach out to you to create space or to hire you to come speak at my organization and etc.?
Well, number one, I do have a website, healingjudges.com.
Okay.
And on that website, I actually have a lot of videos with tools. Many I was doing this, many programs that I've been on where I've brought in guests. And so there's healingjudges.com. And the reason that I would love to engage is because I don't teach anything that I have not done myself. I'm not going to sit here and read a book and say, wow, that's a great idea. I'm gonna chat GPT this book. Come up with a PowerPoint, right? You got
Yes.
the PowerPoint. I
Yeah.
just wanted to be pretty impressed with the words.
You knew it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's only because it was on a plate in the parking lot when we drove in.
Well, that was Joshua's
That's Joshua.
problem.
Well, then that's how I know. So that's why I threw it in. So I didn't even know. So the thing is I've lived this, and boy, have I come out on the other side as a much happier, much more balanced human being.
Yay.
That allows me to be a better resource to my family, my community, and anybody who crosses my path.
I love that.
Now, I got work the rest of my life. This is work until we die.
Yeah.
Till it lasts. But
Yeah.
that's what I can offer people is I've done the walk, and I've come through the other side, and I can share with you the tools that I use. Are they going to work for you? They may, but we're all human beings.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want to be balanced and happy and peaceful and blissful?
Yeah.
If you don't, then you have to really assess
You have
your
a
life.
real problem.
Yeah, you got.
Then we got another layer of
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
But that's why I get contacted. It's like even this conference I did last week. They reached out to me saying, "Hey, that presentation you did on thriving, we need it for our workers. And can you come here and give this plenary?" So.
Yeah, plenary.
You like that?
See, you're used to see. I know what it means.
Plenary means you get to stand in front of everybody, and usually, hopefully, there's a lunch right after it, so people will stay.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a bribe.
Or a breakfast. But a plenary is where you get to address the whole group. So everything. I've addressed up to 750 people in some of the plenaries, but I don't. But I don't like just to stand on the stage. I like to get down. I like to engage.
Yeah,
me
so
too.
So that's you can say be encouraged. I am being engaged.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we'd work us back to the photographer with the weddings. So.
Yeah. Same thing though, because we can hang a little bit longer here today, Lisa,
Yes.
than we normally do, since our second show person lives in Chicago.
Yeah.
So they obviously didn't understand what we were doing here. So, yeah, so they won't be here. But Candace,
Yes.
same thing. Break it down. Help our audience understand why they should come to you for your energy work.
So I think also, like Victor, it's something that I've done in my life to be better, to feel better. The Reiki and energy practice is something that's very important, especially to people that are really sensitive to energies. To get that sorted out. And also our experiences in life and traumas can be stored within our body and our energetic systems. And so when you get Reiki, it helps promote the flow and the relief of that. Doing a little bit on more with the coaching. So it's in person with a Reiki session, or I can do a distance session as well. And it's the mindset coaching with CBT and NLP, so it really can help total wellness.
what's CBT and
Cognitive behavioral therapy or neuro-linguistic programming. So it's just different ways.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, it's different ways of shifting your perspective.
Yeah.
Because of the, experiences in our lives, we might have a certain perspective, but that's not everybody's perspective. And so it can manifest in our bodies as emotions and the way we interact with the world. And so being able to get in there and figure out what's going on and change that can help you feel happier, be happier, and also just be a better person interacting out in the world. So I do not have a website yet, but I'm on Instagram, Adaptive Energetic Wellness.
Adaptive.
energetic wellness.
With little dots in between the words.
What's with the dots? Is that
It makes it easier to see there's 3 words there, I think,
okay,
for me.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Adaptive
Energetic wellness.
energetic.
Like you, Victor Reyes.
Where did you see that?
Right here on your...
I didn't
That's
take...
is that not a comma?
That's not,
You must not have given us your bio, and my team had to take it from social.
Yeah, but there's no I.
There's no I.
Actually, yeah, that's not my first name. It's
No.
Victor. That's my middle initial.
Oh.
And then Reyes. Somebody actually maybe
They did it.
reversed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're it's
Please
like
excuse
no, this
us.
is almost like obnoxious. Like it's like you don't have a first name, but I don't like my first name, so I'm gonna just put a dot next to it, and I'm gonna go with this name. Yeah, no, my name is actually
He
Victor.
goes by his middle
Yeah,
name.
my name is like.
Well, you know, it's a great thing to do.
Great.
I like it when you can embrace your total self. You know, it's so important to be able to go to that next level. Frank, I am really impressed. I can understand why you're just such a great person. You're very adaptable.
Way to bail yourself out of there. He's obviously been a judge.
or in a lot of corners.
Yeah.
That is
You
so
probably heard so many bailouts and excuses from people.
Yeah, they're human beings at
Yeah.
that point in their life.
Right.
I have one thing before I share this story.
Yeah.
Because it's all in the mindset. What we're talking about here is purely your mindset. And so when people are in court, I mean, they're in a certain mindset, and there's a lot of fear.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's holding your life.
Yeah.
I've never been on that side, but I definitely can see it, and even all the conversation I'm having. I wish judges would have been able to get to know these folks in these facilities like I'm getting to know them.
Yeah.
Like right now, am I on the mindset, could I ever go do my job again? No. When I left, when I took the fork, I left 6 figures on the table. I mean, ideally I should be retiring now at 65.
Right.
With, for the rest of my life. Oh my God, almost $200,000 a year. No, I was done.
Are you still single?
Yeah, well.
Okay, ladies, just thought I would tell you.
But I left, the only thing they heard was
Money.
I left money on the table.
Yeah, that's why I asked if you're still single.
No, it's because there is no
Why are you
I said
asking?
you were.
He left money on the table.
There is no
you
money.
have no.
I left money on the
okay,
table.
I'm sorry. I thought you retired at that.
No, I think people understood that part. He left money on the table. No. No, I didn't. No, that's what I could have. No, now with the traveling and the teaching, I have credit card debt. So
He's
that's
debt-free, lady.
No, I have.
Also not.
Trying to help you out.
I know, but Lisa, that may help me momentarily. But somebody said, Lisa said this. I was like, well, that's Lisa for you.
Yep, there we go.
But yeah, it was like, for instance, I was in court once, and I had a guy with driving under suspension, and he says, Mr. Reyes, I have some evidence that I wasn't driving, but we're there to plead guilty. And there was a picture of him and his car was in the garage. So it was a picture of him standing outside of his car with his wife in the driver's seat. So I asked him, where's the police officer? He goes, well, you can't see him. He's around the corner. It's like, okay. So we plead guilty, and it was Judge Cooper, and Judge Cooper was from Indiana. A great guy, a great judge, really understood people.
Yeah.
So I said, Judge Cooper, before you sentence my client, I have something in mitigation. I have some evidence that I want you to consider.
Yeah.
So I approached Judge Cooper, and I said, this is a picture of my client outside of his car with his wife driving right before the police showed up. And I want you to consider that. Judge Cooper took that picture and looked at it. And he goes, well, we're going to go for recess. So he goes back in chambers, and all you hear is, about 5 minutes, he's laughing back there. Comes back out and sentences my client to, the sentence that. But it was just how in that moment in time, that person thought it was a good idea to bring me a picture of him outside the car to prove that he wasn't driving the car. I mean, but it's human beings being human beings. And in those cases that are not quote unquote serious, but then also I've seen people and do some incredible, horrible things to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you were talking earlier, I know we have a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about earlier about police officers and correction officers, let's not forget the people who support them. the secretaries who have to look at the reports,
Yeah.
the people in the front desk, the reception area, who have to see people as they come in.
Yeah.
So we always think, well, we always go to, the judges.
The front line,
But the
yeah.
frontline people who are right there,
Yeah.
they need that kind of support as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're-
yeah, absolutely.
You're right. Absolutely. And one thing I would say, because alternative healings, and we'll call them that because they're not mainline healings, okay? Doesn't make them less. It's make them alternative to what people normally go to. We somehow, and my whole trigger in this whole space, that I call the woo-woo space, is that people keep talking about it, and they almost like there's an assumption that the general populace know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They don't. They have no idea because they're used to the regular mainline conversation when it comes to health and et cetera. So we're going to have to somehow parties down to a place that makes them digestible to the normal populace.
Yeah.
Right?
Majority.
Yeah, to the majority populace because they don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't get it. I'm going to engage Candace. I'm going to go to your office. How do I expect to feel after some of that negative energy has been taken off of me?
Yeah.
What can we, I'm not asking.
Oh,
that
okay.
question.
I was like, well,
But that's
let
what
me
you
explain.
that's
Right.
what you can lead with.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. They can help people engage it. This
Yeah.
is what you can expect from a session from me. Right? Or from you.
I have handouts that say all that too.
Oh, do you? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, well, we all want a balanced life.
We do.
We all want peace and happiness and bliss.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
it's too high level, Judge.
But you know what we want, but I think what's interesting over the years that I have found is that people don't understand what an emotion is. They don't understand that we can deal with these emotions in a healthy way.
Yes.
They don't put space between the trigger and their reaction
Yes.
because they don't know how to.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we're talking about is not something new. It's around, like you said, around for thousands of years.
Right.
But people don't know that there are tools.
Or alternatives
Right.
Yeah.
to what they do know.
Yep.
Right? You
Right.
bring in an alternative.
Yeah.
So good. What's our question? We got to
Yes.
end.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Candace, I'm going to start with you. I would like you to help us with our mission to infuse hope and encouragement throughout the world. So, I would like you to look at that camera and encourage the world and then let people know how to reach you.
Encourage the world what? Hope and encouragement to the world.
Yes. You're going to encourage everybody
Okay.
watching you.
I encourage you, world.
You got this.
I love it.
I am so nervous.
You're good.
This is fun for
on
me
the
too.
TV. Oh no, it's so strange. Okay, and how to find me?
Yeah.
My name's Candace Oakley, and I'm on Instagram at adaptive.energetic.wellness.
Well, thank you, Candace.
Thank you.
rock. You know that.
Thank you so much.
So
too.
I guess what I would say is whatever you're going through in this moment in time, you're not alone. Everybody, 7 billion people in the world.
8.
Eight? What?
Big and short, brother.
Well, now I know why he's got the dot behind his
Yeah.
first letter.
Yeah.
But
It's J. Frank Sinclair.
See, there you go. Now, yeah, I think whatever you're going through this moment, you feel so desperate, but the reality of the matter is that you're going to get through it, because there are millions of people who've gone through what you've been through, and they get through it. It's just sometimes you feel such despair of where we're at in this moment.
Yeah.
So the question is, well, what tools do I need to help me get through it? What tools do I need to, like the lighthouse? You want the picture? The picture is the lighthouse in Maine, where the sea's pounding the lighthouse. So my question always is, how do I make my foundation as a human being so strong that just like those lighthouses, when those storms come in, because they will,
Yes.
they will, when those storms are pounding me, I have the foundation to weather it in a healthy manner and just get through it. And then eventually the sun will come out like it here. 1 week ago, 1 degree. Today, 63 degrees.
I'm in short sleeves.
Yeah. Well, it comes and goes, but we don't feel it. When we're in the middle of it, we don't feel it. But whatever you're going through in this moment, you're going to get through it. Please believe it.
So good.
And my website is healingjudges.com. Tons, and I can be reached through the website. There's a little place that you can email me, or you can email me at healingjudges at gmail.com.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Indeed. Yeah, Judge Victor Reyes and the amazing Candace Oakley as well this morning on the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa. Go, Lisa.
All right, so before we wrap up, let's spotlight our sponsors once more. So Wesco Insurance. Karen Butcher loves helping people save and get the best service ever. Contact her through our website at beencouraged.net. And Planet Duct, Mr. Brandon Kirk and his team offer astronomical air duct cleaning with the most powerful vacuum trucks in Colorado. Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Yes, they are. Visit us at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out to our growing audience. Our platinum sponsor has seen an aggressive 900% growth in their business in just 7 months. Like and follow us on Facebook as well. Thank you, Lisa. And LinkedIn to join us on our journey to extend hope and encouragement and help people realize their potential to networking, collaboration, and community involvement. And remember, if you want to join us internationally, go to our website and select International via Instagram to join us from anywhere in the world.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for all you do
Yes.
for the community.
Oh, absolutely.
So I really appreciate it.